back to another episode. Last time we left off, we were creating an entrance into the base for the sake of security. With that done, Veli goes out to do some mining. We rejoin Veli, finishing up some mining later in the night. A consistent problem Veli has put up with is the wild man eating up his food supply. I was not willing to risk a fight ending poorly with him, so I was waiting for the opportune moment to strike. And the moment presented itself. The wild man got food poisoning. Veli was waiting for the food poisoning to progress into the later stages. Now that the food poisoning was at its peak, it was the ideal time to make his move, knocking him down in one strike only. With that problem dealt with, the body just needed to be stored. We rejoin Veli while he's making a wood-powered stove to make more out of the food supply he already has. This was the start of a makeshift bedroom. With his little room made and a bed to sleep on, Randy Random sent down an escape pod, but with a rather useless survivor. The best use of the survivor for the colony was his clothes, which were promptly stripped from him and brought back to the base. We rejoin Veli cooking up some meals, the first of the season. We rejoin Veli building a research station until he was ambushed by a raider. The tactic for this fight was hit and run, poke him and run back to the base, since Veli didn't have enough construction skills to build traps. I didn't understand where he was going, but the fires next to our base were more important. As soon as I saw him sacrifice himself to the insects, I discovered that we had a new line of defense, built in by the map. The next few days were mostly made up of gathering supplies and building, until we had an escape pod crash down with a survivor who looked promising. And so, the rescue attempt began. Now Veli had to hunt more dangerous animals, as he had to supply for 2 colonies. Our next major event is another escape pod, with a survivor that looks even better than the one before them. And thus began another rescue attempt. Our other colonist decided that she didn't want to join the colony and promptly left. And that's just one less mouth to feed. Some visitors stopped by, but with nothing to trade. The next order of business was to get a butcher's table set up. For the sake of the main room not being a prison room, our hopefully soon-to-be colonist was moved to a different room. Our next event was another wild person wandering into the area. Hopefully this one doesn't end as poorly as the last one. Our captive broke mentally and had to be calmed down. In more unfortunate news, our captive got an infection, and supplying medical supplies was going to cost more than it was worth, so the best option here was just to put her out of her misery. Human leather sells quite well, so On second thought, I decided instead of disposing the corpse, we would use it. Simultaneously, an escape pod crashed down, with a rather useless survivor, and Belly broke down into a tantrum. I'll end this episode on some minor base cleanup, with finishing touches to the interior of the base being made, and a cargo drop of agave fruit. Thank you all for watching.